Mirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yuda Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhagavate Srimad Srila Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhagavate Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Devya Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Acharya Desai Tarine Mukam Karoti Vajalam Bhangum Langete Giri Yakrupa Tamaha Munde Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 10, verse number 26. So, Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiret Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tata Rajastamo Bhava Kamalopadayaschye Chedeterana Viktam Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasannamanso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogada Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hrude Grandhi Sityande Sarvasamsya Chiyande Jasya Karmani Drashtaye Patmani Shware. So today's verse, Krishnaya, one more thing. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Deviki Nandanaja Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Nama Pangajanabhaya Nama Pangajamalini Nama Pangajanaitraya Namaste Pangajankriye. So we'll read today's verse. Aho alam slakyatamam yadokulam Aho alam punyadamam athorvanam Yadesha pumsam rishapa sriyapati Swajanmana chankramanena chanjati. One more time. Aho alam slakyatamam yadokulam Aho alam punyadamam athorvanam Yadesha pumsam rishapa sriyapati Swajanmana chankramanena chanjati. So word by word meanings. Aho, oh, alam, verily, slakyatamam, supremely glorified. Yado, of King Yadu, Kulam dynasty, Aho, O, Alam verily, Punyadamam, supremely virtuous, Mathobanam, the land of Mathura, yet because Yesha, this Pumsam of all the living beings, Rishabha, supreme leader, Sriya of the goddess of fortune, Pati, husband, so Janmana by his appearance, Chankramanena by crawling, Cha Anjati glories. Translation. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So, purport by Stephen Gesla Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul quits his body and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. The sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but he becomes visible at a scheduled time and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in this universe like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all times and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoy the company of the Lord in person, as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who are fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. So, to put this in context, we have been listening to the glorification of Krishna by the ladies of Hastinarpura. The Lord is finally about to leave for Dwarka. He stayed back at the request of Yudhishthira Maharaj to be of solace to his family and especially to his sister. And now, after a few months have passed, and Lord has requested permission to leave, and he is leaving. And then the ladies of the Hastinapura, they went to the roofs of their palaces, their residences, in order to catch a glimpse of Krishna. And they are showering flowers for the Lord because they have adoration for him. They are completely aware of his supreme nature. And we have been through few verses, that is 20 through 25 yesterday by so many speakers. So, and these verses spoken by the ladies are they are even greater than the hymns of the Vedas. The Vedas. I mean, they are so full of meaning and rasa. They are compared to the Vedic hymns. So, like here, this verse is saying how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So these ladies, they are, we have seen through the past verses, their knowledge and appreciation of the Lord. They are not ordinary persons, They are very self-realized souls. As because when just before Krishna's appearance, Mother Earth approached Lord Brahma and spoke to and prayed to him that she be relieved of the burdens, because she is very much aggrieved by the burdensome the kings and the people of the Kali, this thing. So the Lord said to Brahma, I will take birth soon. I will appear in the Yadu dynasty. Now all the demigods and goddesses will have to take birth in the Vrishni Vamsha to assist in my pastimes. So when the Lord comes, he comes with all his intimate devotees, his family and his entourage. Just like when a king goes someplace, he goes accompanied by his very intimate assistants, like that. So these are all associates of the eternal associates of the Lord. So it is not surprising that they speak such words comparable to those in the Bhagavad Gita. Like their minds are, in the first verse it is said that they are uttama sloka chetasa. Their minds are absorbed in the Lord. And they are speaking of the Lord. Very much in the alignment of the Bhagavatam verses. I mean, Uttama Sloka, the Lord is Uttama Sloka because he is praised by the choicest poetry. So all the devotees we come across in Bhagavatam, they are very highly elevated souls by virtue of their confidential knowledge of the Lord and his pastimes. So in this verse, I mean yesterday's verse, Sri Kishore Prabhu was saying, it is comparable to the reason for Krishna's appearance. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Apyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. So today's verse we see Srila Prabhupada is saying, it is like Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Krishna's appearance and activities They are not ordinary. They are not like an ordinary living being taking birth forced by his karmic reactions. He is forced from one material body to another. And he's always going on in this perpetual birth and death cycle. The Lord's appearance is not like that. He appears for the transcendental reasons, at a certain time, a point of time. Lord's calendar is there, in the Kalpa, in the 1000 Yuga cycles of Lord Brahma. He appears so many times. That happens Kalpa after Kalpa. This will, so Krishna appears just once in a day of Brahma, that is 1000 Yuga cycles. And he says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vekti tattvadaha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. So one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, he doesn't have to take birth again. When he quits his body, he reaches me. So such is the wonderful nature of his appearance and activities. So just because, and Srila Prabhupada is comparing the appearance and disappearance of Krishna like that of the sun. We see the sun appears at a certain time in the morning and he disappears in the evening. But it doesn't mean that he is not there. He is always there. He is appearing in some other part of this globe. And then he comes back to us the next day morning like that. And sometimes it is so cloudy, we do not even see the sun for days together. So, but it doesn't mean that he is not there. So the Lord is there in in all parts of his creation at all times. But we see him. He makes his appearance before before the world. He appears even at certain intervals. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita sambhavami yuge yuge. So he comes for that purpose. Whenever there is a decline in religiosity, to protect his devotees and to annihilate the miscreants. So Srila Prabhupada is saying anyone who can understand this truth about the appearance and activities of Krishna being completely divine and carried out by his internal potency, he is eligible for liberation. So liberation is not so cheap after all. It is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But but simply by knowing this truth, one can get liberation at once. This is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance, they think that Krishna is like an ordinary material personality and he comes and goes. But that is, then they are not eligible for, they do not have proper insight into the personality of Godhead's pastimes. So they are not eligible for liberation. So one has to make an effort to understand the pastimes of the Lord, his appearance and activities. And through the study of Bhagavad Gita and literatures like Bhagavatam, which is the utmost in giving knowledge about Krishna. Then in this verse also, it is being stated in the family of King, his appearance in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. Because we know Krishna appeared before Mother Devaki as Swayam Bhagavan Vishnu, and not like an ordinary child. His appearance is not like an ordinary child, baby appearing to a mother. Then he requests his father Vasudeva to take him to Mother Yashoda's cradle and replace his and bring back to Mother Devaki the female child born to Yashoda. So this is all done by the internal potency of the Lord, by the Leela Shakti. So there is nothing ordinary about the appearance or activities of Krishna. Then it is all for the purpose of to accomplish his divine purpose that the Lord appears. We cannot even imagine the glories of the land of the Yadu dynasty and the land of Mathura. We cannot even begin to appreciate. We recently we heard about Kunti Maharani saying in her prayers, oh how glorious! No, oh Krishna, she's saying. Some say that you appear to glorify the pious kings and your devotees. So you have taken birth as in the Yadu dynasty, because the King Yadu is a very dear devotee of the Lord. You have appeared like a sandalwood appears in the Malaya hills. That is how she says. So similarly, here the ladies are saying, oh, how glorious he has appeared in the dynasty of the Yadus. Just like Lord Ramchandra appears in the Surya Vamsha, Ichwaku dynasty. And like that, Lord Krishna is appearing in the Yadu dynasty. And then his childhood pastimes in Mathura, in Vrindavan, in the land of Vrindavan. So there is no better, no more glorious spots on earth. In the next verse, these ladies would say, the earth is transgressing the glory of the heavenly planets, because Krishna is having his pastimes in the land of Vrindavan, Mathura, and even Dwaraka. So that is the understanding of these ladies. They're very very much appreciating the glories of Krishna, so that we mundane folks also become become eligible to praise the Lord and to understand his glories and to be able to go back home, back to Godhead. So all those who are fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. So what about we, just by knowing these facts about Krishna's appearance and activities, if we are eligible for the liberation, what about those persons who are able to associate with him in his pastimes in these holy lands? They are like Lord recently. Maharaj Rampatsa Maharaj was saying what Lord Brahma is saying. These cowherd boys, Krita Punya Kunja, they have performed such pious activities. They are even forgetting that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are enjoying with him like his equal. Sometimes he is accepting defeat in games with them, in playing games with them, and carrying them on his shoulders. So such is the sweetness of Krishna's pastimes. So therefore, rightly the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. So they have said they are very aware. These ladies, they are saying this is the personality of Godhead, who does creation, maintenance, and destruction, and remains unaffected. So their knowledge of Him is complete. They know. And then the Lord wishes to give names and forms to His parts and parcels, they are saying. So that is why He has created this material world. So their awareness of the Lord and His supremacy is very, very, very deep. So anything sung in praise of the Lord is Shruti mantra. The language is not important. What is important is the subject matter. And the ladies, and therefore the ladies, are speaking verses, songs as good as the Vedic hymns, we can say that. So, okay. Then we might read something about the glories of Mathura, as spoken by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. And the five potent forms of devotional, most potent forms of devotional service, as taught by Srila Rupa Goswami, are residing in Mathura, then worshipping the deity of the Lord, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, serving a devotee, and chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So, about the glories of Mathura, it is being said. That is, it is being said. In the Padma Purana, there is a statement about the importance of living at holy places like Mathura or Dwaraka. It is stated there, to travel to different places of pilgrimage means to attain emancipation from material bondage. This emancipation, however, is not the highest perfectional stage. After attaining this liberated stage, one has to become engaged in devotional service to the Lord. After attainment of the Brahmabhuta stage, one can further advance to engagement in devotional service. So this attainment of transcendental loving devotional service to the Lord is the goal of life, and it can be achieved very easily for one who lives in Mathura Mandala, even for a few seconds. That is the potency of the holy Dham. It is further said, who is that person who will not agree to worship the land of Mathura? Mathura can deliver all the desires and ambitions of the fruity workers and of the salvationists who desire to become one with the Supreme Brahman. Certainly, Mathura will deliver the desires of the devotees who simply aspire to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So, in the Vedic literature, it is also stated how wonderful it is that simply by residing in Mathura, even for one day, one can achieve a transcendental loving attitude toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This land of Mathura must be more glorious than Vaikuntha Dhama, the kingdom of God. So, such is the glory of the land of Mathura. There are books like, we know there is Vrindavana Mahatmya, Mathura Mahatmya, etc., which we can read. And also, Rupa Goswami says, if we cannot physically be there, we have to hanker after going there. We have to think in our minds, in our hearts about the holy Dham, and always chant fervently to attain to the lotus feet of the Lord and the Dham. So, for example, for a perfect devotee like Srila Prabhupada, he was residing in Vrindavan only. But he came to carry out the order of his spiritual master to normally the very great sages, they do not cross the seas, but he took that trouble, and he came to the Western hemisphere to preach the glories of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada, whether he is in Hawaii or Los Angeles or in New York, he is in Vrindavana. So it is a state of mind, Vrindavana. We have to always chant the holy names of the Lord, and cultivate that spirit in our hearts. We who cannot aspire to go there as often as we like to, but fortunately by Rompasa Maharaj's mercy, I was able to visit both Dwaraka, Vrindavana. I mean, I've been to both Vrindavana and Mathura, and also to Mayapur during yatra. So wonderful going on a yatra and being in the association of such great devotees. So, and then what about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Bharata Janma, Bhumila Janma, that is one who takes the, he takes his birth in the Bharata Varsha. He should make his life perfect. Apna Janma Sarth Kare, our Parobakar Karna. That is, I'm sorry, I'm not able to say it in Bengali. The exact this thing. So even to attain birth in the holy land of Bharata Varsha, one is fortunate because Krishna's pastimes and the dust of Vrindavana is the highest that we can aspire for. And so we should perfect our lives and help others on the path to self-realization. That is the mission that Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put before us. And then let me see what notes I have. That's it, I think, pretty much. Yeah. So I will stop here kind of early, and that's all I have to speak. And please pitch in all. I mean, I'm sorry, it is a 1 hour slot today, but we have a Maharaj's talk lecture coming up at 8:30, and then there is more in the morning programs. So I would please allow me to stop here. Please, pitch in with your comments and any questions. And sorry if I made any mistakes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, if there are no questions, Lingaraj Prabhu, we can close the session.
Hare Krishna Mataji. My battery is I mean, thank you so much, Mataji. It was nice. I mean, the glorification of the land of Mathura. I mean, the devotees of Hastinarpura are talking, and how I mean, even I don't know. I mean, if somebody is not able to personally visit there, I mean, being in the mood of staying there or anchoring to live there, so is also going to get some benefit.
Yes.
So, but how do we? I mean, hankering is one thing, Mataji, but I mean, for a person like maybe I didn't visit, right? So I didn't visit Mathura. So how do we?
Well, I mean, we can read the books and of Madhura and Vrindavan Mahatmya, and then also it's our own heart purification. We can just chant very nicely and gain the association of Krishna by pure chanting. So we have to take shelter of the holy names of the Lord. Is getting his association through the sound vibration. That is the most potent means for us, and for us sadhakas. So by constantly chanting the holy names of the Lord and association and being in the association of devotees, that is we can sort of we will be able to and so that is that's my thinking, by and wherever the glorification of Krishna is going on, he is personally present there, as Lord Vishnu has said, I do not reside in Vaikuntha, nor in but wherever my devotees chant my glories, I live there. So we can sort of take comfort in these words,
The other question, Mataji, I mean,
Mm.
maybe I don't know, it's a question. Always it rings in my mind,
Mm.
right? Visiting the holy places.
Mm.
I mean, if we are going with a pure devotee, then maybe it may be much
Ah.
happier. Otherwise, we will end up seeing the thermic
Yeah, that is there.
that is
Yes.
happening in that place.
Yeah, I
Right?
listened to a lecture by Robert Maharaj on this verse, and he was saying that it may be possible for us to go there, but to enter into the spirit of the Dham, it needs, it is on the strength of our devotional service, and our otherwise we may not see anything. We may be even depreciating the, okay, oh, there are so many animals going around here, monkeys, and there is a sewage there, this and that, so that is really gaining negative credits actually in the holy dham. So we need to have our much purification in order to be to gain from such I myself, I should say, but being the association of Maharaj and such great devotees, then we hear Krishna Katha in the holy Dham, and we visit the temples, and then our minds are protected that way in the great association. Otherwise, people are they're not interested to go to the holy places very much, because people are so they are so much in their illusory, they are so much in the illusory energy of the Lord. They want to stay in their comfortable flats and be in the business of the world. They don't want to go to holy places like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji,
Hare
one comment in the same topic and then a question. Mataji. I remember Subal Prabhu, he once mentioned something that really, really stuck with me.
Yeah.
What he said was, the potency of the dham is so strong, meaning if somebody has any material desire, it will kick them out of the dham, it seems.
Oh,
so,
I see.
Yes. What is, because this was, this came around when somebody asked a question, right? When you go to dham, there is a lot of beggars asking for money, monkeys stealing stuff from you.
Yeah.
And it looks like, even when you go to many holy places, you find a lot of people asking your money, donations, or do that puja, do this puja.
Yeah.
The way Subal Prabhu explained is, when you are attached to that one belonging or one that money or whatnot, the dham has that potency to take it away from you. And when we have that contamination so strong, what we feel is, oh my God, I'm losing everything here. Let me stay for a couple of days and leave. His explanation was so profound for me, because that's what we see, right? There's a lot of beggars asking.
Yes, and Yes, and the pandas and all in Puri and
Yes.
all, they want to strip you of as much cash as possible or something, and so many, and how to going to a holy dham, people line up asking for money
And then,
we
and
want,
even for darshan, right? We
yes,
have to stand in
yeah,
line. Somebody
yes,
will push you,
yes,
so
oh,
it opens up all our anarthas, meaning
oh,
what we are attached to,
oh,
what we,
Prabhu, I recall waiting for darshan in Jagannath Puri last year. I went with Dhanjay Pandit Prabhu Mataji and myself. My goodness. And literally being pushed by in a wave over there. And that too, in spite of one of the pujaris there, one of the pandas there, we knew we had this thing. So he is holding our hand so that we won't be lost. I mean, it was literally being pushed there, and fortunately, first time I could not see Lord Jagannath, I only see Subhadra Maharani and Lord Baladev. Second time we went in there, I got darshan of Jagannath also. I mean, because it's a very one particular angle you have to have vision to see three of them, the day this. Okay,
Thank you.
Prabhu, please
Thank you,
continue.
Mohanlal Prabhu. Prabhu, before you ask question, I just say, thank you so much for that. And then second thing, I have one. I don't know, Prabhu, if I can ask one question, Mataji, on that same thing.
Yeah.
So, I was asking one question to Rompad Maharaj some time back. I mean, is it possible for a people, right, to misuse or what do you call the facilities that are given in the holy dham? Not misuse. I was using some other word. I mean, exploit. Right, but
Exploit.
yeah, he said it's possible. It's certainly possible. We are seeing that people are doing that, right? So, in that context, when because we have a lot of what you call baggage or what we see outside the world, and we take the same thing there. I mean, I know those things also happening. I mean, exploiting the resources in that whole
No.
by the materialists. So how do we? I mean, it's. I mean, I was thinking. From the explanation Mohanlal Prabhu gave, I think it was clear. But then, how do we distinguish or what is the our what you call
Prevent from.
process? Yeah, what should we? How do we process that?
I think, Prabhu, we have, when we are in the temple, we know how to take care of Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's things, Similarly, when we go to the dham, we are not going to, disturb the order and the cleanliness and any of the properties there with any improper intentions in our mind. But some of these people come, they are coming from the ordinary run of the marketplace of the world. They think, okay, here is a nice guest house for me to stay and enjoy, and what can I meddle with there also. They have the same mentality. But as we read in the Glory of Madhura book, even the material desires are fulfilled by the potent, as I read just now. It doesn't have to be a devotee. Or everybody, even a those who are aspiring for liberation, though they are also the dham fulfills their desires. Then what to speak of the devotees who just want to serve the Lord and the dham? So then that's my thought. Then if we do any such mischief, even if we think, disapprovingly of anything in the dham, it seems we might fall down into animal species living in the dham, like a monkey bird or something, and go back to Godhead from there, it seems. So one has to be very careful. It is like like oil on water. We cannot see the water beneath if the oil film is there like that. We must be very careful to avoid any this thing, desecration in our thought or act while we are in the dham. We have to be very careful. That's all I know. Lila Prabhu was saying something, a question.
Yes, Mataji.
Huh.
Yes, Mataji.
Hmm.
So about the glories of Mathura Dham, I'm just trying to understand and remind me, Mataji. So the significant pastimes that are performed in Mathura are Janmasthal, meaning Krishna was born there and the activities that happened. Then when Krishna went back from Vrindavan, he stayed there for a couple of years, but there are no significant pastimes, right, Mataji? After killing Kamsa, are there any significant pastimes?
In Mathura, but then Mathura is where his grandfather lives, Prabhu? And I mean, his place of birth I visited, the prison house, and Mathura was the throne, the royal. So after Vrindavan pastimes, he went to return to Mathura to be in the association of Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, right? I'm sorry, I may be wrong. I'm a little bit confused myself.
I think that's where he stayed, Mataji, and then after he went to Shandipani Muni's ashram for education, I don't know what happened after that. After
Sandhya Muni's ashram, he comes back and then he's assisting his grandfather in the state affairs, and then comes already there is some attack happening. Is it Jarasandha? I think that is the order I'm thinking. Yeah, Jarasandha comes, I think, at that time. Or no, Kamsa's Jarasandha comes. Jarasandha is, after all, Kamsa's father-in-law, right?
Yes, I think Mataji, yes.
Yes, yeah. So that is, he is coming to attack because his Kamsa's wives go and complain to the father. Krishna has killed our husband. So they come to attack. And so Krishna is already, protecting the land and assisting his grandfather in political affairs, like that. Then goes one war after another, like that. So that is his time in Mathura. And then
what happens that he moves to Dwarka, Mataji?
Dwarka, what time? Dwarka. Then during the course of this Jarasandha attacks, Lord decides that he cannot be here and there protecting both places. So he shifts overnight, moves everybody into sleeping people into Dwarka Dham, right? And then that way he escapes Jarasandha. Jarasandha thinks that Krishna is covered, he has gone somewhere, and that's how the ship to Dwarka happens, no?
I don't remember, Mataji.
Me too, little bit. Exactly. But I think it was during this Jarasandha war, wars happening, that he moved everybody into Dwarka Dham, and that's my memory. I'm not too very this thing sequentially remembering here, Prabhu. I have to study more.
It's. I was just thinking, what are the significant pastimes and what
Mathura.
Why Krishna decides to move to Dwarka? Okay, in the pastime of getting away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any reason why he chose Dwarka?
Dwarka was built in the middle of the ocean, right? So that nobody
can attack.
Nobody can attack like that. Yeah, it was in the middle of the ocean. Vishwakarma built for him.
Okay, Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna. So we have to be just chanting, we have to be just reading Bhagavatam when we are not able to go. I guess we have to be in the association of devotees and doing deity worship.
Mataji, any remembrance from the yatras? Like any particular place that really stuck for you in Mathura or Mathura Mandal?
Mathura, the only thing I remember is visiting the birthplace of Krishna. It's a very small place, the prison house, and it is, you have to go through a very, like it's like you have to go down there, yeah, and see, it's like a dungeon, we can say, and where the birthplace, and they have kept it nicely. And then it is very crowded, that between Vrindavan and Mathura, it's an hour and a half almost, drive there. Me and Shyamla Mataji went there actually. That time it was not with Maharaj. Dwarka Yatra was with Maharaj. Dwarka Yatra, yeah, we saw, the place where Sudama we visited Krishna and Rukmini Devi's temple. Then we saw Bindu Sarovar. And then that time we went to Somnath, the adjacent places, Somnath and the Prapas, where the Prapas Kshetra, where Krishna's disappearance pastimes take place. And there is a temple in which Krishna sits in that posture that is showing his feet and, ready to leave like that. And then we had darshan at Dwarkadish temple, of course, and then we went from there to the one place where Lord Balram's temple is there in a mountain, kind of close by, where Revati and Balram have the deities there. And Maharaj was speaking about the marriage of Balram to Revati. That was very interesting. That is King Revata had this beautiful daughter, and he was not able to. If I might go in there a little bit, just say it quickly. And he did not find a suitable groom for his daughter, so he went to Lord Brahma and to help assist to help find a suitable groom for her. And then Lord Brahma was in a meeting, it seems, so he had to wait some time to see Lord Brahma. So when he came out of that meeting and met the king, Lord Brahma said, "Oh, you had to spend so much time here. Now in the earthly realm, so much time has passed. When you go back there, there will be nobody whom you know practically. So, but there is Krishna and Balram performing their pastimes. Lord Balram will marry your daughter. So when they come back, it's already like the end of Dwapara and the beginning of Kali Yuga. So the people are all so much shorter than them. His daughter looked suddenly so tall for Lord Balram. So Lord Balram, with his plough, touched her head and made her, a suitable height for him, and married her. This is such an interesting story, I thought. Between the juncture of the two yugas, people are suddenly of a shorter, short in their stature and everything. And how time passes in the upper realm compared to in the earthly realm, they hardly know anyone. Everybody has passed by the time they returned. So then that is Revati and Balram's temple. Then we went up to Srinathji's temple actually. First time I was going there. That is in Rajasthan, no? Yeah. So we had darshan there also. It's very hard, Prabhu, full of crowd. For you can only see a moment. The Lord's, if you see the Lord full darshan, that is lucky. That's how it is. So many people waiting. Then that was Dwarka Yatra. We had about 400 people and 9 buses, 10 buses. And from it was all by bus from place to place. Lot of people fell sick. Both I also myself, I had to be taken to a hospital at some emergency medication, everything, because that time it's getting cold and we go from here, we cannot adjust to the water and air. And so a lot of people fell sick.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for description of those places and those times. That Balram's marriage is really interesting when you explain.
I thought it was so very interesting to me. It was beautiful places, and to be seen. I mean, to be in Maharaj's association in those kind of the venue is in the open. We have under a tree or something, and we are having a chadar and sitting and listening to Maharaj in those places. It's a beautiful memory. It's very nice. Thank you very much for your participation. I did not, otherwise I wouldn't have covered the whole time. Hare Krishna, very interesting. Okay, Prabhu, Lingaraj Prabhu, we can close the session now. 8 o'clock already. 8:30 is Maharaj's class. I think Lingaraj Prabhu logged off.
Maybe he had to get to something, Mataji.
Okay, we can leave, no?